And just like that, we are day 3 into Child Month. But this is just one of the many observances for the month of May. For one, today is Anti-Bullying Day, and later in the month we will celebrate Mother's Day, Labor Day, Teacher's Day, and Child's Day. Hey there, it's another Friday edition of your Jamaica Magazine, and I'm your host, Audrey. Safeguarding our children is the focus for today, so stay right there.
Mommy?
Yes, Zoe?
Can we read this book? It will only take 10 minutes.
Sure, sit down. Every spring, Madame Angel Wing arranges.
Do you have 10 minutes? Read with your child today. Reading with your children for just 10 minutes each day helps develop their language and listening skills, stimulates their imagination, and expands their understanding of the world. So, start reading with your child today.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, May 3. The thousands of residents living in and around Stony Hill, St. Andrew are soon to receive a new courthouse and their own Justice Center. The Stony Hill Courthouse and St. Andrew Justice Center will be located in Golden Spring, adjacent to the Stony Hill Police Station. Yesterday, a team from the Justice Ministry commenced preliminary works for the construction, with the demolition of old buildings on the recently acquired property. Manager of Infrastructure and Property Services at the Ministry of Justice, retired Major Marlon Stevens, says this is part of the ministry's drive to have at least one justice center in each parish.
What we do recognize, what the ministry recognizes, is that this community needs the service. The Justice Center represents a conduit that persons will be allowed to engage in a number of activities, including child diversion, including mediation and restorative justice.
The new multi-million-dollar complex is being built by the Jamaica Defense Force Engineering Unit. $4.8 million in scholarships is being awarded to 8 students at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education CASE by the Jamaica Bauxite Institute, JBI. Each student is to receive a 2-year scholarship valued at $600,000 and will include cost for tuition, boarding, and meals. Minister of Transport and Mining Robert Montague says the students are from communities with greenhouse clusters. Upon completion of their studies, the scholarship recipients will go back to these greenhouse clusters to practice agro-processing.
If you open your mind, this scholarship, this program will put you on a pathway that opens the whole world to you. So don't be constrained in the traditional way of how you think of agriculture. Think of the linkages with agriculture. Think of how you can process and extract and break new ground. You are young farmers.
The minister was speaking at the signing ceremony yesterday. The assistance is being provided under the JBI Alcan Rio Tinto Legacy Fund Scholarship Program. Approximately $750 million has been disbursed to 35 small and medium tourism enterprises, SMTEs. This has been made possible through the National Export-Import Exim Bank's revolving loan scheme for tourism businesses. The government provided a $1 billion loan scheme for on-lending to SMTEs at an interest rate of 4.5%. Beneficiaries were selected from 51 completed applications that the Exim Bank received up to November 2018. The news was revealed by Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett during his 2019-2020 sectoral debate on Tuesday.
The loan currently supports entities with at least 35% of its revenue derived from tourism and is offered at a maximum of $25 million per time and a minimum of 5 million Jamaican dollars. That interest rate, Mr. Speaker, is tenable there for tourism entrepreneurs primarily, and the repayable period is 5 years.
The loan scheme aims to support businesses deriving at least 35% of their revenue from tourism-related engagements. Still on tourism, Minister Edmund Bartlett has welcomed the state's public emergency SOEs that have been imposed on 3 western parishes. Speaking at a post-sectoral press briefing on Wednesday, Mr. Bartlett said the enhanced security measures would further secure the integrity of destination Jamaica.
And Jamaica has, over the years, maintained a position of being a destination that is safe And anything which challenges that makes for immediate and proactive action, so that Jamaica does not ever get in the position where we are running behind issues that are uncontrollable.
The states of public emergencies were announced by Prime Minister Andrew Holness earlier this week to curb the rise in violent crimes in the parishes of St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover. And finally, the deadline for the Hope Youth Summer Employment Program has been extended to May 10. The summer program, which is managed by the Heart Trust NTA, will employ over 14,500 young people, including those with disabilities. They will be employed in 3-week batches over the period of June to August. Interested persons aged 17 to 34 years old may apply online at jobs.heart-nta.org. They can also visit any Heart Trust or original NYS office island-wide. Applicants must submit their TRN and NIS cards, as well as their birth certificates, valid national or school ID, proof of qualification, a resume, 1 passport-size photograph, and a bank verification form. For further information, persons may call the Heart Trust NTA's toll-free line at 888-432-7668. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
For the past 5 years, the Rita Marley Foundation and the Ministry of Education have been on a mission to equip young people across Jamaica with the art of public speaking. They do this through the annual Rita Marley Public Speaking Competition. Here's a look at what took place this year.
Blessed love. My name is Fabian Morris and I'm the 2019 winner of the Rita Marley Foundation Public Speaking Competition. You know, my teacher expressed to me like a month ago if I'm interested to. She didn't even ask if I'm interested. She said, you know what, Fabian, I know you're good at impromptu, so you're going to enter Rita Marley. And I'm like, all right, okay, let's try it.
Yes, Fabian Morris is one of 12 high school students who participated in this year's 5th annual staging of the Rita Marley Public Speaking Competition.
What are the benefits of public speaking to the participants in particular? It is a great way of building personal development on many levels because improving communication skills is helpful in almost every area of life. Whether your goal is to engage in political debate, make a career as a motivational speaker, or gain confidence in front of an audience, public speaking can help you meet your goals.
We commenced this competition in 2015, the aim of which is to develop articulate speech among the youth and so that they could represent Jamaica on any platform or forum.
Students, teachers and others came out in their numbers at the University of the West Indies Mona campus to offer their support to the contestants in the 2-part competition. Round 1 had contestants opining on the moot of all the forms that reparations should take. Repatriation to Africa is the most important.
Reparation is on the national agenda, and part of our responsibility is to ensure that public education, especially of the youth, is part of this mandate.
In 1518, a grim date in the history of the Atlantic slave trade, the Spaniards carried the first cargo of Africans from West Africa, took them whether by force or flawed bribe from their home where they are free, to a foreign land to sell them as slaves. And it is now time we demand a reparation.
The various forms of reparation law, covering both monetary and non-monetary reparations, can be summarized in 5 forms. Restitution, which includes repatriation, rehabilitation, compensation, satisfaction, and guarantees of non-repetition.
The question is, ladies and gentlemen, do you believe that repatriation is the most important part of this plan? Well, I say that it is the most important part of this plan.
But repatriation to Africa may not be the most viable or logical option on an economic, social, and political premise.
While many of us are descendants of these slaves, we were born and raised on this very island. So therefore, it is safe to say, if we should be repatriating to anywhere, it should be to Jamaica.
We need to know who we are before we even think about going back to the place that we call the motherland.
We can't go to Africa with too long on. So we have to economically build, we have to politically build, we have to socially build, we have to prepare ourselves mentally in order to reach to Africa. And when, as they usually say in Jamaica, you have to give back something to mum. To make mum add on pan the house. So when mum can add on pan the house, then she can harness us in the house. But if you not give nothing to mum, if you put on pan the house, Lord God, what gonna happen?
I am sure, and I'm sure many of you will know this, no way, I'm saying no, me mean no way, no better than your yard. No way at all. Yes, I just reverted to Potter, but yeah, no way, no better than your yard. And in closing, I am saying, we should go back to Africa, because Africa is our roots.
After an engaging first round, the judges had a hard task selecting the top 3 speakers who would advance to the next round. But in the end,
Fabian Morris, Lorena Estro, and Wendy and Ivy will have half an hour to prepare and deliver on the following topic. If Mr. Nelson Mandela lived until 2018, he would have turned 100. To celebrate the centenary of his birth, the South African government designed the theme, Be the Legacy. In your opinion, what is the legacy of Mr. Nelson Mandela to the world?
while the finalists departed to prepare their impromptu speeches, all the semi-finalists were rewarded for their efforts.
Destiny. And that's what he left.
Boom, bye bye, you black man head.
Hope that we will appreciate ourselves.
May I invite the three finalists to join me here. Going home with $15,000 in cash, Bob Marley merchandise, a medal, a certificate, and a plaque for the school. Can we congratulate the participant from Immaculate Conception High School? Ladies and gentlemen, going home to Yam Country, Westwood High School, Wendy and Ivy takes the second prize. Congratulations.
It was really hard for me to get here. A lot of things almost stopped me being here. And you know, sometimes the devil tries to stop us from getting our blessings. So I said, you know, I think this one is from me, so I have to be there.
I still have not forgotten my experience, and every year I come here to help out, I relive that experience, and I'm inspired all over again to continue being a voice for persons in Jamaica, and also to continue to push myself more to be a better public speaker and a better advocate for the things I believe in.
I'm feeling excited, extremely excited, because I win it from my school. It really teaches me to believe in myself and be confident, because I didn't believe I would win.
Lions, oh lioness, get up and know you are the mightiest. I'm talking to all lions.
Stand up and get in the race.
I can become the master of my destiny.
Step up your stride, make we work like a harder. Do it like Veronica, Bolt and a Sapa.
We can rise above the challenges and shine.
Was with passion in your heart. Make a plan and stop all the hyping. You think that's so? We reach our aging. I can, you can. Like our Olympians, every Jamaican can.
Coming up next is the story of young Adriana Francis, a little girl with autism who has been able to overcome her daily challenges with help from her school and family.
Slide. Slide. 1, 2, 3, go! Woo! Good job. Let's go into the play out, all right?
When she was about 6 months, I realized that she wasn't sitting up. She wasn't creeping. She wasn't making any attempts like that. As a newborn baby coming up, she didn't cry. She hardly cried and she didn't interact with me, really. She would make eye contact now and then. One of the signs of autism is that the children do not make eye contact. They tend to have sensitivity of their hand middles, their foot bottoms, and their mouths, oral sensitivity. Some of them take a long time to get used to changes, to different situations, to different persons.
Adriana would be on the moderate to severe level of the spectrum, and she also has something called global developmental delays, meaning several areas of her development are affected.
I listen to the... Good job. Good job. We're going to go to your favorite place ever, to the play field. Time to pack up, Adriana. Time to pack up.
For the child with autism, it's very difficult to move from one activity to another. Adriana has problems with those.
Well, I have to find ways to distract her, like I'll sing with her. I'll say a favorite poem or something that will distract her. I give her a toy that will distract her from what she's doing and get her interested in something else. Come, wait for your shoes. We have to put on your shoes to go to the play field. Come here. Come this way. Come, we're going to the swing. Going to the swing.
She likes to be actually free in her environment, and so any opportunity given, she'll be running away. And as such, the shadow is very, very important in her life in order to help her to know danger and to keep her on focus.
I've been a shadow for Adriana since September 2013. I help her with her academics, self-help skills, social skills. For instance, carrying her to the playground. In all areas, I watch her for the whole day that she's at school.
She won 2 of her events in sports that just gone, and she got 2 gold medals for that. She did a flat race, 25 meter. She won that race, and we had obstacle race, and she won that race also.
Sometimes it's a happy journey, sometimes it feels easy, sometimes it feels overwhelming, like you just can't go another day, you know. But at the end of the day, as long as there's love for her, then you can find a strength. Adriana has a little sister who is like her big little sister. When Adriana should have been the one maybe helping to put baby to sleep, baby is the one helping to put Adriana to sleep. She will follow whatever Elisa does. She will listen. Her big brother, DeMarco, he's 14, going 15, and he has been, I mean, from Adriana was a baby, he wanted to change diapers. He wanted to take care of his sister, and he still does. Her daddy he's a good support too. Her dad picks her up every morning, takes her home every evening.
I wouldn't miss it for the world. I would do it every day, every day. If that child is a part of you, whichever way life turns, whichever way things turn, be there for your child. Were it not for you, that child wouldn't be here. And if every father would do the same, just be there for your child. That's the basic law of humanity. Be there for your child.
are children and we have rights. We have a right to be
protected,
provided for,
and included. Don't beat me up, don't belittle me, and please don't molest me. I am under 13. I should not be working for a living. That is child labor. It is illegal. Stop leaving me alone. I am too young to provide for myself. I need your guidance.
Protect our nation's children. They have rights too. To learn more about children's rights, call or visit the offices of the Child Development Agency.
As mentioned earlier, it's Anti-Bullying Day, and coming up, we have an important message from the General Secretary of the National Secondary Students' Council, Fabrizio Darby.
How a mother for send her one son to school with a lunch sum, only for hear him get thumped down? I just try understand fully. How a father for send him one daughter, for hear them issue her verbal slaughter and a class full of laughter? I just try understand fully. It's like we take the cool out of school and instead issue the youths hot tool and teach them how to make cool. Try to make me understand fully. It's hard for the youth them feel the pep when them come to school and a bully think for step. And right now we need a hero for deal with cape, with how them drape on the internet. Why you take the liberty for bully? I just try understand fully. Vision 2030 pleads for Jamaica where we can live, work, raise families and do business. But how can a mother raise her child if someone keeps putting him or her down? Verbal, physical, even over the internet. Once it's derogatory, it's bullying. Studies from the CDA in association with UNICEF shows that around 60 to 65% of students are bullied at some points in their lives. It's time to break that statistic. It's time to stop bullying.
Hear this, youth, older people, mature people, anyone who is listening right now, don't wait for extraordinary moments. Seize small opportunities and make them great. I've learned that through this experience. So if you have an idea, there's something that you want to do and you have not sought out an avenue, trust me, the time is now. Get it done.
Look. Do you see it? Can you tell which bird this is?
There are over 300 species of hummingbirds in the world, and Jamaica has 4 types. Our national bird, the doctor bird, is one of those 4, and it's endemic to the island. That means it's only found right here in Jamaica.
According to sources at the Institute of Jamaica, in 1962, a committee was established to consider the recommendations for the national emblems of the country.
It was at that level that the red-billed streamer-tailed hummingbird, or doctor bird, was chosen to be Jamaica's national bird.
We actually have 2 species of streamer-tails. One is the red-billed streamer-tail, one is the black-billed streamer-tail. The red-billed streamer-tail and the black-billed streamer-tail is considered by some authorities as 2 separate species. Here in Jamaica, we still consider them to be 2 species.
The red-billed streamer-tail can be found across most of the island except the eastern tip, where you'll find the black-billed streamer-tail. Hummingbirds' nests are made from small leafy materials woven together with cobwebs. There are about 2 eggs per clutch or grouping, usually 1 male and 1 female.
Hummingbirds are actually sexually dimorphic. In other words, there are 2 different forms for male and females. The male is actually a lot more flashy.
Jamaicans call the red-billed streamer-tail the doctor bird because of the appearance of the male, with its black crest and 2 iconic tail feathers, resembling the top hat and coat tails of doctors in the past. The male doctor bird also has shimmering green feathers on the chest and back, and a bright red bill with a black tip. The female looks very different, because she has a short tail, white chest feathers, and slightly green feathers on the back. The female's bill is also dark brown with red at the base.
You can actually find males without a tail, and there are several reasons for this. One, it could be a young male, right? Born earlier this year, for example, it's going to take a while before those tail feathers actually grow in. And sometimes you'll actually see some with very short tail, which means it's growing in. Another reason they might lack a tail is that they might have molted it. That is, they change their feathers. After the feathers get worn out, they actually drop them and a new set of feathers actually grows in. Sometimes you'll find a male with one tail feather. It lost it for one reason or the other. You know, it broke off. They could be fighting with each other and actually lost a tail feather. Hummingbirds, for their size, I mean, they're very tiny birds, but they're probably one of the most aggressive groups of birds in the entire world. The reason for this aggressive behavior is because of food scarcity. They have a group of flowers which they'll visit throughout the day because it takes some time for the nectar to replenish. Sometimes about half an hour, sometimes about an hour or longer. So what they do, they'll feed along a particular route, taking different flowers as they go along. And so once they finish feeding, they'll defend that area until it replenishes.
Hummingbirds flap their wings in a figure-8 motion, allowing them to change direction quickly as well as hover. But they are constantly burning so much energy that they must spend all day looking for food, only taking short rests in the shade.
Hummingbirds are considered nectar feeders, and there was a time when we believed these birds fed only on nectar from flowers. But in more recent times, we realize that they do actually take insects very occasionally, and we suspect it's really just to get some supplemental protein. In terms of the trees and the flowers that the hummingbirds feed on, I would like to highlight that the national tree, the blue maho, is actually one of the favorite flowers of the doctor bird.
You can spot the doctor bird at many of our public gardens across the island. For example, right here at the Blue and John Crow Mountains National Park.
A United Nations educational, scientific and cultural organization, UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Look at that color, shimmering emerald green, and those two long tails. Our national bird is certainly a sight to behold.
And you've just arrived at the final page of today's Jamaica Magazine. Thanks for browsing with us. To watch today's program again, simply visit our website, jis.gov.jm. Don't forget that you're able to follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. I'm Audrey, reminding you to be kind to our children and young people. After all, without them, there's no future.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.